What is up, everybody? Welcome to Monk and Lou's Happy Hour right here, Thursday night / Friday morning, breaking down every fight on UFC Mexico City. We are looking forward to this one, especially if you look ahead to next week's card. Lou, how are you doing? Looking forward to this card?
I have two regrets. One, this is the most festive shirt with the colors that I had, and I should have probably written something over it. And two, I really regret that I cut my hair and shaved yesterday when I could have just totally done a badass mustache today. But you know, you fail to plan.
Plan to fail, Lou.
What can you do? Yeah, there's some all right fights in this card. I like it. This is more like there's fights I want to watch. I don't like a lot of betting stuff here. And we just talked about next week's card, which seems like a terrible watch. But I actually think next week's card, there's some like kind of fun betting spots. Like I probably have more betting spots next week than this week, but not looking forward to next week with Shamil and Jair in the fucking main event.
Alex Perez makes weight plus 235. We'll see how that goes.
We got our boy Easy in the chat. What's up, my dude?
What is good? So yeah, we will do our best to get through these 13 fights. Because usually I have Thursdays off, but I had to work today for some nonsense reason. And yeah, it's been a long one, Lou. Long day. But let's cap it off with a positive, if you will, with Monk and Lou's Happy Hour. And let's get into the very first fight, Lou. Muhammad Naimov taking on Eric Silva. Minus 200 fight doesn't go. Plus 160 does go. Minus 600 for Muhammad Naimov and plus 425 for Eric Silva, 91.71. Why don't you start us off here?
What a guy you are. So let me start off on this. So I don't really understand this matchup, first and foremost. It's like a step down for Naimov. So I don't know, like, I don't like if you're trying to build him up, this is weird. And if you're trying to punish him, this is also decidedly weird. I mean, I can't imagine that Silva's made any vast improvements. Like, he's pretty one-dimensional. I don't trust his cardio. I think Naimov's, like, pretty well-rounded. Like, I don't think he's great anywhere, but he's decidedly more well-rounded than Silva. But, like, I don't know how you get to him at minus 600. So this is going to be a no bet for me, but I'm going to propose something that could make it a bet. Because I know somebody that I respect, that I talked to you pre-show, somebody I respect threw a bag on Silva because the number got to a point, probably a numbers play. I'll just say this. If Silva wins round one and you see Naimov at like minus 200 range, something like that, probably a value play at that point. But I just, no way. I can't parlay him. And I just can't get to Silva here. Like, he beat the dude that looks like a fucking Nintendo character on the Contender Series. Like with the green, he had like the green screen behind him, and like he has like a pixelated head. And then like he looked like crap against TJ Brown. Like, yeah, it's a different matchup, but like
over a year ago.
Yeah, I mean, dude, he's older, and like I just don't think he's gonna make improvements. So I think if his name wasn't Silva, Naimov would probably be like minus 1,200 here. Like, I think his name is what's keeping this from being like a Bo Nickel line. But yeah, my guy stuff. You know, we got our chat is all soccer people, by the way. So I love this. I am like, this is all for me. I love it. But that's all I got. No bet. I would say look to live bet Naimov if he drops round one, but yeah, I don't know, man. Naimov's pretty durable too. Like, I don't think Silva's him. So
yeah, he came in against Malarkey plus 335, against Wood plus 270. So average a plus 300 dog in these past two fights. And scoring okay, 91 and 96. He did find a finish against Malarkey. And like I said, yeah, looked good against Nathaniel Wood. Silva, obviously, his only fight in the UFC was a submission loss to TJ Brown after he was controlled for 71% of 14 minutes. That's exactly it. I was trying to figure out what he looks like. I think Justin just nailed it. Yeah, the only trepidation I have is Naimov was 6,500, then 7,200. Now he's 9,100. So it's quite the step up, but like Lou said, quite the step down in competition. So I like Naimov here. I'd like to see Silva for the person you were speaking of to secure that bag. But other than that, I mean, I really think it's an I'm off here. And I think he's good for DraftKings, either format, GPPs or cash. Next fight, Felipe Dos Santos taking on.
Tremendous comment from Josh.
That's what I was saying. That's what I meant. Yeah, that's exactly what I was trying to picture when I was thinking of what Eric Silva looked like against Victor Moreno. Plus 160 doesn't go, minus 200 does go. One of the very few fights on this card, Lou, that is not lined to finish inside the distance. Minus 290 for Dos Santos, plus 245, 92, and 7K. Yeah, I'll start this one off. Everybody's saying Dos Santos looked really good in a loss. I've heard countless people say he might have lost, but he looked really good against Cop. That's fine. Maybe he did. He scored 40 points in a loss, which is good, but very one-dimensional. Like, all he did was strike, landed no knockdowns, no takedowns, zero control time for the most part. And he was knocked down and he was taken down by Manel Cop. Obviously, a big step down here against Altamirano. But Altamirano was frustrating against Tim Elliott. Got 2 wins, but the names aren't great. Vinicius Salvador, Daniel Cerda. I don't know, man. I think Dos Santos is going to win, probably by decision. I don't know that he is worth the $9,200 price tag that we now have to pay. Another guy that was $6,900 and is now a very, very expensive favorite. So I'd rather come in a little bit under on GPPs for Dos Santos, and I'll go a little over the field on Altamirano, even though his strength of schedule is absolute dog shit. Keep that in mind. I do think he loses a decision, but at 7K, dude's made the optimal twice. I'm willing to put a little bit on GPPs there, but the pick's going to be Dos Santos decision. Lou, what do you got here?
Yeah, I'm not betting this fight. The last guy we overvalued in a loss was Diego Lopez, and like, he's looked pretty good.
Yep.
But doesn't mean everybody's going to look pretty good. So I agree to that point that, like, and like Altamirano, you know, is he a bum? Probably. But he's kind of well-rounded. He's super durable. If I thought he had good control on the ground, if he could actually control people, I'd think about taking a poke on him here. I think the plus 3.5 is plus money, but like, I don't even like that here. I see Dos Santos could just dominate him on the feet. He probably wins all the minutes. I don't think Altamirano has like a moment in this fight where he looks impressive, because I don't think he's ever had a moment where he looked impressive except against Lacerda. So like, the Santos decision is plus 105. I mean, I don't have any interest in a price like that either. So
yeah,
it's a pass for me completely. Pick us Dos Santos, but like, I don't think Altamirano, I would need a better price for a guy that I just don't think wins a minute on the feet and really probably doesn't hold Dos Santos down.
Yeah, exactly. Next fight, speaking of questionable matchups, Dennis Bondar taking on Luis Rodriguez. Plus 115 doesn't go, minus 145 does go. Very closely lined. In fact, this line is flipped. Now it is minus 115 for Rodriguez, 105 or minus 105 for Bondar, 82 and 8,000. So a little bit of line value there maybe for DraftKings, the tiniest bit. Lou, start us off here.
I'm very disappointed you didn't mention that his nickname is Lazy Boy. Very
true.
disappointed.
That is true.
Yeah, I mean, it's another pass, because I mean, I've seen people on the Bondar side, and it's like, he hasn't had well, like, I remember, like, you went over his tape, like, before he came to UFC, and like, the dude looks pretty well rounded, like, can grapple, like, can strike. But like, he's obviously showing that he has durability issues. He's been finished twice. I don't care what they said for the last fight. He got finished. He got finished against Malcolm Gordon, who like was like broke his arm by being stronger than him. Malcolm Gordon was stronger than him. And then like the Rodriguez side, I mean, he's kind of looked mid against crappy dudes. So like, I don't really, this is just a match to have a match. And like, the thing is you look at the line and like, you're not even getting an edge here. Like, it's probably a 50-50 fight. The line's about 50-50. I know the money's coming on Rodriguez, but like, I don't know, man. Like, and I know people on the fight goes or like decision props, and it's like, well, Bondar's had 2 fights that didn't go the distance. Again, I get it, last fight, but like, I don't know, man. I like, if you want to play the under as like a plus money prop, I don't hate it. Like, maybe Bondar is just like, fuck it, I'm getting battered in 2 fights, and like, maybe opens it up a little more. But this is another one. Like, I don't know how you trust Bondar at
Right.
all. Like, I know his regional tape was okay. His UFC tape is bad. It's very bad. And I care a lot more about that at this point.
Exactly. This is like the opposite of who was it? Oh, Naimov winning twice as a huge underdog. We've got Bondar coming in the UFC against Gordon minus 290 and then minus 148 against Hernandez. So he dropped 2 fights in a row as a favorite. Like you said, I don't trust him. I don't know how you could trust him. Also, there's no numbers for Rodriguez. He fought Jerome Rivera in the DWCS back in 2020. I mean, lost that fight. I don't know if that really tells you anything. It was 3.5 years ago. Yeah, this is a 50-50 fight, like you said, and it's very cheap. So throw 20 to 30% of each side in your GPP lineup. That's probably what I would do. Maybe 20 to 25%. A little bit more Rodriguez for me personally. Not only is he cheaper, but I don't know much about Rodriguez. Haven't seen much of his fight time, but I've seen how bad Bondar has looked in the UFC, just like Lou said. And so, yeah, he loses points for that. Next fight. Sheesh. Faris Ziam taking on Claudio Puelles minus 130, actually slated to finish inside the distance. Plus 100 goes the distance. Minus 193 plus 168 for Puelles, 87 and 75. I will start us off, Lou. Under no circumstances do I play more than just a sprinkle of Faris Ziam ever. Like, yeah, he's 4-1 in his last 5. He's 4-2 in the UFC. When does he ever do anything worth a shit for DraftKings? The answer is probably never. 96 points against Michael Figlak. He did make the optimal in that one, I guess. So not never, but he was 7,700 against Michael fucking Figlak. Wow. And got the win. Other than that, he beat Herbert 69 points. He scored 46 against Vendramini in a fight that, according to the stats, he should have lost. And he did get outscored by Vendramini by 10 points before you add the bonus. And before that, Jamie Malaki should have won that fight. He scored 67 points in that one. Did Ziam with the win, but without the bonus, he also got outscored by 10 points. Meanwhile, Claudio Puelles also 4-1 over here with a better strength of schedule, according to the numbers, than Faris Ziam. And he's the flying toe hold knee bar master. That's what we're looking for here. Oh, what happens if he doesn't get the sub? Well, I don't know. Ask Jordan Levitt. Ask Marcos Mariano. Well, those guys aren't worth a shit. Well, Ziam beat Michael Figlak and Jai Herbert. So what are we talking about here? Give me Claudio Puelles. His path to victory scores more than Ziam 10 times out of 10. And Ziam sucks for DraftKings. So 7,500. Give me the guy, the Peruvian prince, Claudio Puelles, to find a victory one way or the other.
So I agree with you from the DraftKings perspective, but I disagree with you from the betting perspective. And I think
Ziam, make him humble.
And I think Figlak is better than anyone that Puelles has fought except for Dan Hooker. Like, I think Figlak's just had a weird debut. But, I mean, like, how does ZM get beat? Like, in general, like, oh, he got subbed by McKinney. Yeah, but McKinney has the threat of, like, aggression and, like, strikes. And Puelles just, I mean, again, I don't want to bash Ryan Hall. I feel like it would be 2 weeks in a row.
I'll bash him. He deserves it.
But I'm saying is, I don't know if that style really works. And Puelles, like, you know, look, Ziam doesn't hit hard like Hooker, but his striking's pretty good. His defense is really good. And Puelles, I don't think Ziam's finally facing a dude that doesn't have the threat coming back at him. Like the Jai Herbert fight, look, Jai Herbert is whatever he is. But the dude, if he has one attribute, it said he's got power. And Ziam, like, never got hit by him. Like, fought a really good tactical fight against a guy. I mean, look, again, it's Jai Herbert. Still a nice win the way he fought. And, I mean, if all Ziam needs to do is keep this fight upright and he wins.
Yep.
Like,
true.
So I think the price is pretty good. I like Ziam here by decision. I do think he's a good parlay piece at this price. And he is one I will get to. But I know Juicy Q's in the chat. I mean, I think you have to, if Puelles by knee bar on BetMGM is like, when they put that line out, I mean, if it's like 10-1, I feel like you have to take it.
Yeah.
So
for sure.
This is gonna be like a Lou special where Ziam's up 2-0 in the third. and he's doing nothing, and I'm just gonna sit there and be like, "You do nothing, sir. This is excellent. Like, just stand back."
Yeah, exactly. And if somehow he finishes Puelas early, I don't want to hear shit because that is the least likely thing to happen.
I will say I think it's interesting that fight doesn't go as -130 when the guy with the majority of the finish equity is Puelas. I think it's
exactly
it's a weird number.
All the finish equity, 100%.
Well,
I mean,
not
how is
all of it,
DM
but
finishing? I guess if Puelas falls to his fails knee bar and gets ground impact, I don't know. I can't. It's even hard for me.
I
to
mean,
picture.
Puelas could gas bad,
He
like,
could.
and just not want to get up and like see him
Well,
could get a see him could get a KO without actually landing a punch.
That would be hilarious. That would make me laugh. Speaking of things that make me laugh, we've done this before, I swear. Edgar, time is a flat circle, Lou. Edgar Cherez, Daniel Lacerda, again, -600 fight doesn't go, +400 does go, -550 for Cherez at this point, +400 for Lacerda, 9,300, 6,900. Start us off here with this feather flyweight banger.
Okay, so this is your Yam Bag special.
Oh, of course.
All right, look. Oh, this is an awesome price. The under 1.5 on my book is -195. And
Jesus.
you and I talked before the show about people being like, this line's too wide and this and that. Dude, Bo nickel unders are like -500, and like you're never worried about it. The only fight of Lacerda's that's gone over it was the Vergara fight, and it should have been stopped way before 1.5. Lacerda should have had a first round KO. The ref I don't know what the ref was doing there. I mean, and if you want to look for like, I know not every fight's the same. Like, I get it, but like, we actually have a data point here. He was being choked out in like 3 minutes.
Yeah.
So we have a data point that says under 1.5 is probably the play. Shirez in the distance is basically the same price as Lacerda. It actually might be here. It's 190. I'm looking at Bet Parks right now. So 195. Okay, the under 1.5 is -195. Shirez by finish is -220. I'd much rather play the under. I mean,
yeah.
And let me see. Not that I really want to do this, but I'll look this up. Okay, I don't want to do this, but if you're not even comfortable with the 1.5, I wouldn't do this. But fight not to start round 3 is -305, which is a parlay piece, I guess. But like, I think the -195 is very reasonable here. So, look, if Lacerda does happen to land the bomb, let's be honest. I'm really excited to break this fight down in May with you when they rebook it. Like,
yeah, exactly.
But I'd much rather have under 1.5 than Shirez in the distance. Like, could Shirez get a second round finish? Yes, but I don't know, man. 25-cent difference. I'd rather just have the under, to be honest.
How is it justified for people to be saying this line is too wide? I don't understand
the under or the money line.
The money line.
Well, because Shirez, simple. Because Shirez is not the kind of fighter.
He shouldn't be -600, but Lacerda is not the type of fighter that instills confidence.
No, but again, it's more that he's not the type of fighter and fights a style that should be lined this way. I'm saying is, I think he doesn't deserve this line. Right. And yet somehow at the same time, Lacerda deserves to be a massive underdog like this. So like this is where the math just doesn't really work.
That's probably why it's so upsetting here. Yeah, both guys looking for their first UFC win. This is Lacerda's 6th attempt. While Lacerda's fought guys like Molina, got finished by Figueiredo, Altamirano, and Vergara, and was basically finished by Cherez as well. Meanwhile, Cherez did lose his debut to a guy named Tatsuro Taira. Very good, I guess what we used to call prospect.
And he had moments.
Exactly. And a decent flyweight fighter. Can't call him a prospect anymore. So, and he should be 1-1 after that Lacerda fight. Yeah, I don't get it, man. This is a huge GPP fight. I will have some tiny bit of Lacerda, but I trust him less than anyone.
What's your projected ownership for the field?
For Lacerda or the whole fight?
Both of
This is probably, I bet this fight is around 50%, actually more than that, probably 55% owned, if not a little more. And I think actually Lacerda is going to have more ownership, to be honest. Every fucking time this guy fights, people are like, well, he's plus 400. He's got a chance. I'm just going to throw money at it. And every single time, have you ever seen $1 of that back? No, you have not. But people just keep throwing money at Lacerda like, well, this one's going to be the one. I mean, eventually you're going to be right. He's probably going to win. If they give him an infinite amount of UFC fights, he'll likely win one. Even Jay Ellis has a couple of wins. So that still doesn't, that's not a plus 400. That's more like a plus 900 in my opinion. So I don't get it.
Monk, what hits first? Lacerda win or Porker round 2 submission?
Oh, it's Porker round 2 submission all day.
Because I'm still betting it every chance I get.
All day. Yeah, but overall ownership on Lacerda is probably going to be like, I was thinking 20, but I don't know. I think more people are going to have him than should. It blows my mind every time. What is up, Zach? Daz in the house. Yeah, let's just, wow. I don't get it, man. We'll keep it moving. If I could click the right button. Mateus Mendonça taking on Jesus Aguilar. Minus 180 fight doesn't go, plus 150 does go. Minus 135 for Mateus, plus 115 for Jesus. Nobody fucks with the Jesus, Lou. 8,400, 7,800. I'll start us off here. This is another fight where basically both guys have no wins. I mean, are we really counting Jesus Aguilar against Shannon Ross? Because I'm not. He also lost to Tatsuro Taira, but he got subbed in 4 minutes instead of going all 15. Meanwhile, Mendonça has obviously fought the better competition up at bantamweight against Basharat, and then got dismantled by Nate Maness. Pretty good there in less than 1 round. I don't know, man. I think this one's probably a 50-50-ish fight, and the salaries would tell us that as well. So 84 and 78, I think I'll go pretty close. Exposure to both guys, maybe just a little bit more on Aguilar, but it's only a price play. I am not confident in all. In fact, I'm going to pick Mendonça to win this fight. But I wouldn't be surprised if Aguilar got it done. It's probably going to be a decision. And both guys actually do give up a ton of points defensively. Mendonça almost 5 points a minute and 108 per loss, and Aguilar over 3 a minute and 103 in his loss. So could be interesting. Lots of points here. Maybe an interesting contrarian play would be to get more exposure to this fight instead of the last fight. I'm not saying if it's, definitely a thing you should do, but this fight will be much less owned than the previous fight. Lou, how do you see this one?
Well, I also think you should own this fight because unlike you, I really like the under 2.5 here quite a bit, minus 150 range. Like Aguilar is going to do what Cody does. He's going to jump Gilly at some point. He may get it, or he's going to just die, or he may lose it and end up in a leg lock, and Mendonça is not going to know what to do. I think Mendonca's fight IQ is terrible. I think Aguilar is like, and like, I always wonder about this. So when you're not known for power and you're coming off a KO, and like, I got a Chan Ross, but still a KO. It was a 1-punch walk-off, nice looking KO. I wonder what these guys, if they go into camp, they're like, all I'm doing is working on my striking now. Like, now I know I can do it. And I wonder if he like actually just wants to exchange more. And if he does, it's probably a bad idea. But then I don't know what world I think Mendonça should be. This is another one like the last one where like, I don't know what world Mendonça should ever be a favorite. But like, I also don't know a world where like, unless they're fighting Shannon Ross, where like Jesus Aguilar should be the favorite. So like, I think the line's kind of fine. But I think under 2.5 minus 150, like they're both dumb and they both do things that literally put them into getting finished positions. I think if you like the Aguilar side, the Aguilar subs not. Let me see what it is. I don't think it's terrible when I looked. It's plus 370. I don't hate that. But I just rather play the under and like, because I feel like it's a guarantee that one of them is going to do something really stupid each round. So, like, I think
Right.
you're going to get chances here.
Also, Aguilar kind of looks like
neither one is very good. Like
Aguilar kind of looks like Shannon Ross. Yes or no? Is it just the goatee?
I think you're just goatee. I think you're just racist, man. And I don't put up with that.
Ross is from Australia. Stop it. You're the one wearing a Rusev and a sombrero. I don't know what's going on over on your
First
side.
of all, it's Rusev Day. So
every day.
Okay, so I don't know how that's racist. And the hat is, I always wear a hat on this show. This is just a different hat.
That's true. It's funny because
do not hat shame me, sir. Hey,
funny because it's a big hat.
If Dan Levy can do it, I can do it.
Here we've got probably the worst tattoo on the card.
Hold on, can we agree with this, Monk? You know, you and Brady and I say this all the time. Bad hair means bad life decisions.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But the hair pales in comparison to whatever is on Christian Quinones's chest. Taking on Raoni Barcelos minus 200. Fight doesn't go. Plus 160 fight goes. Minus 170 for Barcelos, the veteran here, and plus 145 for Quinones. 86-76. Why don't you start us off? Who do you like? The vet or one of 45 guys on this card nicknamed Problema?
We do have a lot. Can I just say that putting the show,
it's ridiculous.
Can I just say that putting the show on the TV over like past
on the TV
and not doing my headphones is like
game changing.
It's so much like I didn't do the headphones to do. I don't want the goofy meme where like sombreros 10 feet above my head and like this is just a joy.
Turd Ferguson.
Yeah, it's funny because it's bigger than.
Yeah, headphones. So, unless you're in the studio, Lou, you just don't need them headphones.
So, like, yeah, this is tricky because, you know, skill for skill, you'd think Barcelos. Skill for skill.
Sure.
But his volume is not great, and he's just hesitant to do much. And what's Barcelos struggled with? Guys that crowd him, that bring the fight to him, like the Victor Henry fight. I know Victor Henry didn't finish him, but Henry just didn't give him a chance to breathe. And Barcelos got nothing off and looked bad. And I think you have a guy in Quinones who, I mean, it depends on how you rate Victor Henry, I suppose. But Quinones, definitely more dangerous, is definitely going to throw more fight-ending things. I favor the Quinones side. Like Zach said, I like him by KO here. If you're worried that he's like bad because Mr. Perfect subbed him, it's another fight where like the under 2.5, it's minus 160. It's not bad. We lost a little value on it, but like it's not bad. But I think Quinones knocks him out, and like I think maybe this is the end for Barcelos.
Well, plus, why is it bad? Why is it looked down upon if Kyung Ho Kang subs you? Isn't that like mostly
he subbed him in like because he subbed him in like 2 minutes.
Well, that's true. Okay, that part's true. But I've heard that from other people. I'm like, isn't he a freaking like that's how he gets most of his finishes?
Yeah. So. And if Barcelos is like 37, so am I. I'm also
exactly. That's I think that's what Zach is alluding to as well. And Barcelos, I mean. It's tough when you look, 49. It's tough when you look at his last 5 because he is 1-4, and this is exactly what I'm saying. Thank you, Moise. Because the Timur Valiev, obviously, that's the first thing. He's not 1-4. He won that Valiev fight. Yes, I agree with you, but he turned that around and lost to like a debuting fighter in Victor Henry as a minus 450 fucking favorite, dude. Like, what is that? Then you beat Trevin Jones. Okay, who gives a shit? Then you fight Umar Nurmagomedov. That, I mean, you're not going to win that. And then Kyler Phillips, you lose a decision in a relatively close fight where you got outstruck, but, did better on the ground. Meanwhile,
Kyler Phillips coming off a steroid suspension too, by the way.
That's true. The only thing I'm worried about is Hayani, USADA does not exist anymore, and he might have them good vitamins down there. So, yeah, Quinones smashed up Khalid Taha. I don't know what we can put into that, and then got smashed up by Kyung Ho Kang. I like the upside. That's a long way of saying I love the upside for Quinones at 7,600. I will be playing him. Barcelos has failed to make the optimal in any of his last 5 fights. Obviously, he's only won one of them, and it was against Trevin Jones. But he was 9K that week, so he didn't make the optimal, even though he scored 101. Yes, and we are doing well. I didn't use it on my other show, not once. I didn't use any of the synonyms. I don't know why I'm going full
Like
walnuts.
cardio is an unavoidable word.
Right.
Cardio is fine.
Right.
But, I don't want to be like the scientists around the space right now.
Yeah, we're not. Yeah, exactly. We're not.
Also, sorry to interrupt, but like if you guys go to fightnumbers.com at John Kelly's site, I know the sample size is limited, but he did a nice little article breaking this down by weight classes.
Don't say
about
it.
like fights at altitude. And he showed.
You fucking said it.
Yeah, but this is John. I'm quoting John. And he even said there's really not a big difference. Like the sample size is small, but at height.
Can't believe you've done this. No, yes, go check out the article. Check out John's website as well. He completely has revamped it for the 2024 year. And you should definitely at least check it out, guys. Check it out. He's got Nate Latshaw on board as well, and you know what that guy's all about. So big fan there. Yeah, this one will be quick. I think I was in the middle. Yeah, it's Quinones for the DraftKings upside. I'll have a little bit of Barcelos, sure, but 1-4, even if their opponents are Umar and a probable win against Valiev, I'm still not too interested. Plus what you guys said about the age thing. Unless he's on all the best steroids, I'm going to go with Quinones, I think. I was on the other side of it at the beginning of the week, but common sense has prevailed, or at least what seems to be common sense. Next fight, Manuel Torres taking on Chris Duncan. Speaking of fucking weird things on people's chests, minus 700 does not go. Plus 450 does go. Minus 191 for Torres, plus 166 for Duncan, 83.79. Yeah, I think that is something I would really like to see. Zach Johnson. I'm looking for the Torres KO. Look, you're telling me this is a 50-50 fight according to the DraftKings salaries, and I'm looking at the the UFC fights, and I see Nicholas Mata KO round 1, 105 points. I see Frank Camacho KO round 1, 114 points. Not the best strength of schedule, I'll give you that. But I look across the aisle here at Chris Duncan, also not the best strength of schedule. Beats Omar Morales, who I don't even think is in the UFC anymore, scores 89 points, okay, in his debut. Then he fights, what's up, Glenn? Fights Yanel Ashmuz, who breaks his hand in the first, 2 minutes or less, to the point where this is not a Joe Barlow. He's not as tough as Danny Barlow, excuse me, who broke his arm last week and went almost 15 minutes. Ashmuz just didn't throw the left hand at all. And Duncan couldn't finish him. He did. He decisioned him handily, but he didn't try to finish him. Nothing. Dude had one fucking arm and he didn't finish him. 75 points. Give me the upside for Torres. Give me the upside in DraftKings at 8,300. This dude's 2 for 2 optimal. If Duncan wins, I think his score is much, much lower than Torres if he wins. And the salaries are too close where I just can't back a ton of Duncan if I don't think he's going to score 95, 100 points or more. So give me Torres, who can score that much. I mean, this dude's 7.5 points a minute in the UFC so far. Love it. Lou, what do you got here? Another problem for Chris Duncan. Second problem of the card.
Okay, so everything you said, look, man, I think Duncan's chinny. I think Torres fights like a fucking psychopath.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he only needs one here. I mean, Duncan gets tagged a lot. So Torres round 1 KO is the play for me. However, that being said, I feel there's a world, and I think you have to at least put something on this prop. Duncan decision at plus 1,000.
Oh my God. Really?
And I say this because, and again, I don't have insider info here. If you're Duncan and you've seen the way he's fighting now, he's fighting a safer, it's not as exciting, but he's fighting a safer, more tactical strategy where he's trying to do cage control. I don't think his grappling's great, but he's being proactive. He's hanging on the legs. He gets the guy down. Yeah, he doesn't do much, but if this thing gets past the 6-7 minute mark, it's probably because Duncan was controlling him.
Mm-hmm.
If this thing goes to the third, This is another one where you're just going to be clapping for Duncan to like
Yeah.
just lay on him and do nothing. And like just don't get bunked. And he probably wins a 29-20. He probably wins a 30-27, actually, because
right.
I don't know how Torres wins the first and the fight doesn't end in the first.
Right.
Like if he wins the first, it's done. So look, the pick is Torres round 1 KO, and that's a bet for me as well. But you have to sprinkle the Duncan decision if this thing, like, I don't think Chris Duncan's good. But like if it does get extended, it's Duncan doing nothing and just cage controlling.
Yep. I agree. 100%.
Like, it's not like I don't see him going for a finish late. Even if Torres is gassed, I just see Duncan getting a takedown and being like, okay, like I'm just going to eat up the clock and win minutes. So, dude, Duncan really isn't like some great finisher.
Right.
So,
yeah,
like,
I don't know.
Like Slava Claus is a way better striker when he knocked Duncan out. He's a way better striker technically than Torres.
Mm-hmm.
And Slava's got power, but he didn't have power like this guy. And I don't think Slava can eat a punch like Torres either. Like Torres can eat a shot here. Like Torres may just come in. He's fine exchanging one to land one. And if that's what happens, Duncan's going to sleep. So, yeah, I mean, I don't like betting guys. I mean, I would never bet the money line like you're betting a prop, obviously.
Right. Yeah.
But the round 1 KO for me on my book is plus 245. I'm all for it. And like, what's the KO? It's in the distance is minus 148. That's fine. The KO is plus 116. Honestly, I think just round 1 KO.
160 or 16?
116.
Oh,
I'd rather just play round 1 KO.
Exactly.
Honestly, if it gets out of the first, I don't like his odds.
right.
So,
Who do you think wins in a dance-off between Manuel Torres and Slava Claus?
Stop.
I know.
Nobody's beating Slava Claus. But speaking of which, because I bring this up on every show, so we got to just put this in the description from now on. Lou's body cam police video of the week.
Oh yeah.
There's this woman is fucking. It might be the most drunk woman I've ever seen on these things, and I'm not even joking. And she's telling the cop that she has multiple sclerosis over and over and over again. And he's like, okay. He's like, well, what are the symptoms? She goes, it's multiple sclerosis. He goes, I know what it is, but I'm not a doctor. Like, what are the symptoms? She goes, it's the sclerosis. And he's like, ma'am, I need you to get out of the car. Like, I've had it. And then she's dancing as he's trying to do like the
that's a symptom.
And he's like, ma'am. And then meanwhile, they show she's smiling, she's laughing. They show the front of her car, completely trashed. Like, tremendous.
Are you sure this wasn't a Reno 911 episode where they're having the dance off?
I mean,
he goes, I can only dance when I'm drunk. Oh,
got our guy Key. What's up, Kiwi?
Kiwi.
Sure, all is well, sir.
Yeah, it's the sclerosis. There's so many of them.
The sclerosis. And it all reminded me of, not to sound horrible, but it reminded me of that the Boondocks episode. The itis.
The itis. I got the itis. By the way, that deserves. I need to rewatch. That's.
Dude, they're running like. Dude, they run like it's 24/7 on YouTube. There's like a stream, and they run it like. Yeah, it's awesome.
Nice. I'm actually just started Curb. I'm through the first season. I never watched Seinfeld, and I never watched Curb. I'll probably never watch Seinfeld, but Curb is pretty. It's pretty good.
Some of it's okay, and some of it to me is like the good episodes knock it out of the park. But there's a lot of like kind of meh episodes, like Palestinian Chicken. Just watch that episode. It's like the goddamn. It's like the most perfect episode of a show ever.
Which one?
How it all comes back. It's hilarious. It's amazing.
What's it called? Something Chicken?
Palestinian Chicken.
Palestinian Chicken.
It's the best episode of that show. Maybe the best episode of any comedy ever. Dude, it's tremendous.
There he is.
What's up,
there he is.
Yeah, no headphones, so I can fit the hat on my, my head. It's weird.
Well, speaking of lines that are way too wide, Lou, we've got Yasmin Uregi taking on everyone's favorite, Sam Hughes. Plus 155 does not go. I think this is the third or fourth of 3 or 4 fights it doesn't go. Minus 190 does go. Minus 600, Lou, in this economy for a straw weight. Plus 425 for Hughes. 95.67. Why don't you start us off?
I mean, what could go wrong parlaying a women's fight minus 600? Look, man, I saw this line. I think we talked Monday, and I was like, man, this Hughes line is really wide. Like, I kind of want to take a shot at it. But then it's like, but what's her path? Because she's probably not going to be able to get any grappling going here. Like, Hughes is probably the best grappler that Jauregi's seen. But, like, Hughes is more like she'll get a takedown on, like, her 9th attempt. And I think just on the feet, she's going to get battered. I think Yargui, like, I mean, look, man. Yeah, she got, like, snuck attack by Gomes, and it wasn't a good look. But, like,
Sneak attack.
But I think like that's almost like a good loss for her. Like, you learn, you're like, okay, like, it's a humbling loss. Hughes doesn't offer that threat on the feet. I think she's going to be fine, but, like, I don't know, man. Like, I almost want to do. I don't know what it is. I'm going to look at, when you talk, there's a prop I want to look up that I think, at least, if you just want to put a little bit of fun money on it, you can. But, like, go ahead and tell me what you're doing here. Then I'll play the prop.
Well, as soon as I saw this fight, I was like, yes, on Sam Hughes. She's the cheapest fighter on the card. I never go for 6,700, never ever. But this time, I'm just like, what the fuck is going on here? Because I look at Yasmin Jauregi's numbers, and I mean, she beat Yasmin Lucindo. She scored 64 points, 64.99. We do not round up when you score 64.99 points at 8,700. Then she beat Estela Nunes. Cool. One of the more poorer fighters at strawweight. I don't want to be too hard on her. And then got sneak attacked, as Lou would say, by Denise Gomes at 9,300. Meanwhile, Sam Hughes is out here like, yeah, she's getting some ground game going against, Nunes. I just said, whatever. Elise Reed, Jacqueline Amarim, who everyone counted her out against, and she scored 83 at 7,200. Yeah, she's going to lose every minute on the feet, Lou, but she is extremely tough to finish. And in all of her losses, she's actually scored okay. So at 6,700, if we can get 30 to 40 points out of Sam Hughes, I'm going to consider that a win for DraftKings, because that lets me play. The cash lineup I turned in for the Pub Sports radio show, I think I've got like 3-9. It's crazy top loaded. Stars and scrubs. And Sam Hughes is crucial for that. I just think this is too wide. Well, obviously it's too wide. All she needs is a moment, Lou, and she's super tough. And I think that's good enough to play against a girl who I don't trust in Yasmin Jauregui. Easy set at 9,500. Yeah. But how does she score 9,500? She'd have to knock out Sam Hughes, and I just don't see that happening. So I'd hate to be wrong, because I do like Sam Hughes, but I think Jauregi's too expensive. So give me Sam Hughes here. That was very loud, whatever that was.
Hear me out. If this fight gets extended, I do like Hughes' cardio, and I like the fact that she's doggedly going for takedowns. Okay. And I think there's a world where she wins. She probably wins round 3 at a reasonable clip.
Sure.
I also don't think there's any chance in hell that Hughes wins a decision in Mexico. So just for a little bit of fun, so just hear me out. For a little bit of fun money, Jauregui split decision is plus 550. If she loses the third decisively, I think it's in play. So, look, also, don't bet it, but I'm giving you, like, you have to do something fun, But Jauregui decision is probably what happens.
Yeah.
But, like, if this thing hits the third and Hughes still looks pretty good cardio-wise, you never want to be holding a minus 600 ticket. You're going to be losing your mind.
Yeah, her face is going to be bloody, and she's not going to be breathing hard like she looks in every fight.
And also, she was cheating. This is a million percent.
Did she get caught? What do you expect, Moise? You think they're going to take a fucking point for that? Shit.
Glove bags.
I'm not yelling at you, Moise. I'm yelling at all the people that never take points for anything ever.
Looking at you.
There are no fouls in the UFC.
Looking at you, Herb.
Yeah, Jesus, man. I would love to see people take points for fingers, or at least I'm just sick of warnings, dude. This shit is like, what's the point?
Is Jaron Villel going to be there? Because, like,
yeah. Yeah, who knows? Here we go. Look at this guy. Jesus. And I'm not talking about Rosas Jr. I don't know what's going on with this fight. Raul Rosas Jr. taking on Ricky Tercios. Is he morphing into Bryce Mitchell? Ricky, I don't know what's going on. Minus 130.
It's a weird fight where Rosas may not be the strangest guy on the screen.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, minus 130. Tercios is like a little Tony Ferguson. Plus 100, minus 220 for Rosas. Plus 185 for Tercios, 900 and 7,200. Yeah, exactly. This is a hard warning. I'm only going to give you 16. Have you ever seen, yes, of course, basketball? You guys make fun of me 15 or 16 more times. I'm getting out of here. That's exactly what Herb Dean says.
Have I seen?
I answered the question. I knew that you had, of course. Yeah. I'm gonna go. Look, man. I'm gonna go with Rosas Jr. for an early finish. No, his strength of schedule doesn't do anything. That's what I'm saying. Easy. Why does he look like that, bro? He needs like a banjo or something. I don't know what's going on. But yeah, I like Rosas here. I know his strength of schedule doesn't do much for my argument, but he is cheaper. Is this correct? 9,000. Tied for the cheapest he's ever been. He was 9K against everybody's favorite Jay Perrin. But Ricky Tercios, I mean, how are you impressed with this dude? Like, yeah, he's 2-1. He got taken down 7 fucking times by Natividad and controlled for 1 whole round. As 5 whole minutes. And then Heistand, he got taken down 6 times and controlled for 7.5 minutes. Still won those fights, then lost to Ayman Zahabi with probably one of the worst striking performances in recent UFC memory. 27 strikes landed at 11.49%. Again, we don't round up to 11.5 here. 11.49%. That means he threw like 230 or 40 strikes and landed 27. Like, what are we doing here? Give me Rosas Jr. He has more of the killer instinct, in my opinion. He scores, for the most part, better in DraftKings. I feel like I'm missing a fight. Why am I not? Did Tercios fight? I thought he fought. Who head kicked? I'm thinking of Brian Battle. Never mind. I don't know why I get those. Were they on the same season of Ultimate Fighter? Brian Battle and Tercios?
I've never seen them both in the same room.
So. I often get them confused, and I don't know why, because they don't look anything like each other or fight similarly. But I've talked about this for too long. I like Rosas. Yeah, Tercios I'm just not impressed. And what Tercios shows up. What do you think here?
So Rosas, I don't know if you heard him yesterday in the press conference, but he was interesting. He said,
I thought you were actually going to say something. I don't know why I thought that.
So, like, that was really interesting. I thought it was well.
No, yeah, that's very a descriptive way of how he thinks the fight's going to go.
You knew it was fucking coming.
I should have. I just didn't see it. I did.
It's like psoriasis, dude. Just get used to it, and it won't even bother you, like, at some point. So, somebody who shall not be named has a pretty big bet on the Tercios side. I will not say who. You know who I'm talking about. We've talked about this. And, like, I get it. He's historically tough to finish, and he has get-ups. But I think that Rosas is pretty strong, and I think that Rosas can just get one takedown around and kind of just, I'm sorry, man. Woo! I can see just Rosas kind of winning 2 rounds with like 2 takedowns and just having control. The problem here is like Tercios has 100 strikes in 2 of his fights, and he has 65, and then he has the Zahabi fight. I don't know that he has enough volume and urgency in the 3rd round of a fight that he's losing. And you got to think that, like, it's another one where, like, Rosas is going to win, like, a lot of minutes the first 2 rounds. Like,
yeah.
Dude, I know he gassed against C-Rod. That's a learning experience. Like, now and also C-Rod has got pretty good takedown defense.
Yeah, sure. Mm-hmm.
C-Rod made him work really hard. Now Rosas maybe, like, I don't care about the Terrence Mitchell fight, dude. I learned nothing in the Terrence Mitchell. You mean
Tear Bear?
Terrible. But if Rosas learns, okay, maybe I don't have to go gung-ho off the jump, get the takedowns when they're there. He's got to know that he's going to get one when he wants it. He doesn't need it 10 seconds into the fight. There's no threat of Tercios knocking him out. Like, Tercios doesn't have power to do this.
Right.
So Rosas can take his time, get position, take him down, backpack him, and just eat up the clock. I'm hesitant to take the Rosas sub, but I think Rosas money line is probably a pretty decent parlay piece. We have 2 other decent parlay pieces coming up, but I think Rosas is pretty solid here to at least win the first 10 minutes, then not get finished by Tercios. I'm just hesitant on the sub. And I see people playing the KO, and it's like, I'm just really hesitant on a finish prop here for Rosas. I think that I almost favor Rosas' decision, but I just don't want to take method here.
So who do you think he calls out if he wins?
I think everybody should start calling out Pereira like Zhang did. Just call out Alex Pereira.
True. That's a good answer. But I set it up for you and you didn't take it.
Did he even call anybody out last time?
No, the answer is
he should call out Marble Mouth.
Yeah, that's what I set you up for it to do it twice.
I imagine he's gonna garble, and I'm gonna hear somewhere in there, Jesus, my Lord and Savior. Somewhere in that celebratory speech, I'll hear about the God and the Jesus.
The God and the Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. Love it.
But you probably have to play Rosas in DK, I think.
And he's 9K. Yeah, his upside is pretty big here, I think.
I mean, his upside in the decision's good too.
Exactly. Yeah, because it's all, like you said, one takedown around and 5 minutes of control time.
I'll say this: the one thing you have to worry about is his striking output. He's not thrown a lot of strikes in the UFC.
Who are we talking about?
Rosas. He had 18. 18 last fight, 2 against C-Rod, 2. And 3 against Jay Parron. And even the contender series where he had all that top time, he had 20 strikes. So you're gonna get points to take. You really want Tercios to just keep getting up.
Yeah, basically.
Because he ain't gonna score you points with striking.
Yeah, that's true. Also Lent. Maybe I don't know. Maybe he'll give up takedowns for Lent. I don't know how it works. Someone got super mad at me when I asked them when Lent started, and they got I should have known. Daniel Zellhuber taking on Francisco Prado, minus 130. Doesn't go plus 100, does go minus 270 for Zellhuber, plus 230 for Prado, 89 and 73. I think, did I go? Yeah, I'll just go. I like Zellhuber here, but I think I like him by decision. Look, for DraftKings, this guy is 8,900, and he scores fucking worse than Faraziem does. I mean, 84 against Giagos, and this was a finish. Guys, he finished him in the second round, 70 bonus points after almost 9 minutes, and he scored almost 14 without the bonus. That's nothing. Beat Lando Venata 75. That could, and that's how I'm looking to play it for DraftKings. Exactly. Yeah. That's how I'm looking to play it. Whoever said Prado, I think it was Glenn, inside the distance. I do like Zellhuber to win. He's probably going to be my pick when I send him into Brian this week. Shout out Brian for all his hard work he does every week. But at 8,900, the dude scores less points than Derek Lewis does per minute. He scores 2 points a minute. He doesn't allow any at 64. When he did lose to Ogden, he allowed 64. Prado doesn't really score that much per minute either, but in his win, he did put up 117. So I think there is some upside there for Prado. While it might not happen, I do think it's worth a shot for GPPs at 7,300. So get him in your lineup. But for cash, I'm not touching him. Zellhuber, I don't mind for cash. Like I said, I think he gets the win by decision. I think he scores like shit, and I think he's terrible for GPPs. So unless you think Prado gets knocked out, which he's never been finished in his entire career, then fade Zellhuber a bit when it comes to GPPs. Lou, how do you see this one? Is this one of your parlay pieces here?
Yeah. And this is another one where as soon as I look at the line, my first inclination was
this is a good comment. Holy shit.
Why is this line so wide? And then look, man, Azatar stinks. And Malarkey, I love Malarkey, but he stinks as well. And Malarkey, does not have great top time in general. And Prado just got tired. And I get it. It was his debut. I'll forgive a lot of that. Mm-hmm. And it was short notice. I can forgive that. And I don't know that I learned anything from the Azatar win, because Azatar is just a complete bum who's chinny.
Right.
And then you look at the Zellhuber side, and it's Giagos had a lot of success early, and I completely understand that. And then he gassed. But like Prado's big weapon is an overhand right.
Mhm.
He's not jabbing his way in a distance. He's just winging bombs. And he's got like an 8-inch reach disadvantage in this fight. Like, I don't know
Holy shit!
how
Yeah,
he's going to get inside to land that shot. I don't. And even if he lands it, Zellhuber's shown he's got good durability. So I don't know. Like, I feel like Prado's win condition is like a one-shot KO, and I don't know that he's going to be able to get in range. I think Zellhuber's kicks are good. He's going to be able to keep Prado where he wants. If this thing becomes a grappling matchup, I think Zellhuber's kind of underrated. Like, he's decent. Like,
his takedown defense is great.
But I'm with you. I think Zellhuber for DK. I think it's Prado or pass probably. I don't.
Yeah.
I think, but even that, man, Prado's floor is like 8 points. Like, he's not going to go for grappling here, and it's like, I mean, I don't know how Prado really scores well on the feet. Fucking Steve, man.
Dude, he is a sniper. Steve is a fucking sniper.
Dude, I talked to Steve in Discord for soccer. This dude's a riot.
You got to get me into these Discords, Lou.
It's a soccer Discord. Anybody can be in there, but really it's just 3 of us. Like, that's it. Just like, that's all it is. Like, every once in a while, someone else will pop in, and we're like, great. Here's like the 900.
And they're like, oh, you guys are talking about soccer? See ya.
I'm like, here are all the Dutch League 2 bets I made today. So I like Zellhuber. I like him probably by decision. I don't want to do like the mushroom special, the round 3 decision, but I think that's viable because I really don't trust Prado's cardio. I mean, dude, Malarkey wasn't trying to finish him. And if you remember correctly on this very show, I was the only person in the community that said I liked Malarkey decision. It was only like plus 300, but I was like, I really like Malarkey decision. And what did he do in the 3rd round? Up 2-0. Just took him down, got warned. They're like, move. And he's like, I just sat there like, yes. They stood him up. He took him right back down and did nothing. Crowd booed. I'm like, this is tremendous. Prado had no answers. I think Zellhuber's grappling's decent. I said Damari saying Zellhuber sub. I think it's possible, man. I don't know that Prado is going to initiate grappling, but I think Zellhuber could initiate some grappling here. I think he can mix in a takedown absolutely to like, but if he's winning at range, he may just be content to like, I'll pick him apart.
That's true.
Huge reach advantage. Dude, he's way bigger. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, and these are just the UFC stats. I bet it's even worse in person.
Yeah,
like
I mean,
in the real world.
Your picture doesn't do their size. See, if you were going to do like an outlaw kind of picture like you're known for, it would have been this one.
See, then that's the thing. My guy really fucked me up by having me work today. So I wasn't able to really get the time in to this one.
No,
and
it interfered with the creative process. I understand.
It did. That is great way to put it. Next fight, finally, goddamn decent fight. Yair Rodriguez taking on Brian Ortega. Minus 200 fight doesn't go. Plus 160 goes all 5 rounds. This is a 5-round non-title fight. Minus 143 for Rodriguez, plus 123 Ortega, 85.77 for DraftKings. Start us off here in this co-main event, Lou.
So, man, this is a fucking tricky fight, and I'll tell you why. So the last time they fought, it's a Long Island card, and I went like 11-1 that day. I think that was like my best betting day I got one fight wrong, and the only fight I got wrong was the first fight. That was I can't remember the girl. I had her by KO.
Volk?
Huh?
Was this the Yair Volk card?
No, the Yair Ortega card.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
I got the first fight wrong. I had whatever that girl was by KO against the old bird. This is a horrible. I'll tell you right now. I had Dakota to knock out Penne. That was the first fight. She won by decision. And I got I 11. I swept the board. Other than that, it's like the best day I've had ever. I had Yair in distance. And the reason I had Yair in distance is because Yair was the underdog in that fight. I feel like this is a pick'em type fight. I like Yair as small plus money. Obviously, the way it played out, I'll take the win. You know, I should have gotten button candy. Now that I'm thinking,
yeah. See,
when's UFC Noche? I'll look. I'm always willing to up my game. I'll get the button candy like Martin Short had. So this is a tricky fight for me because there's so many red flags on both sides. Like, Ortega has one finish in 5 years, 5.5 years. He hasn't fought in a while. His life's kind of in a weird spin. And then, like, it's hard to judge him because I think his boxing is, like, way better than people give him credit for. His submission game's good. He has all his skill set troubles Rodriguez, like, completely. Then you have your Rodriguez, who, yeah, he's healthier, and yeah, he has the mental edge that he won the first fight by injury. He's also coming off getting finished by Volk, and Volk is not a massive finisher. He got, like, completely he got destroyed in that fight.
Yeah.
So how do you come back? How is he? Because that's the thing, is like, now he's got to build himself up. I mean, there's a new champion. Like, now he's got to build himself up toward Topuria. But it's still like, man, when I finally got to the top level, like, I got absolutely destroyed. I think there's a mental thing there. So I don't know. Like, I really want to bet Ortega here, but, like, he's just not a great minute winner either. Like, historically, like, and not like, yeah, here's some excellent minute winner. Like, he's winging bombs and, like, kicks from weird angles. Like, if Ortega comes in and actually just boxes, and his boxing is good, like, it's because I think his boxing's sharp. If he just boxes and stays defensively sound, I think we're getting a steal at plus 123. But there's too many red flags on the Ortega side. I'm going to pick Ortega for the sake of the show. I'm going to just watch the fight. I'm going to sit this one out. So.
Yeah, this is an interesting one. I'm going to pick Rodriguez, but I agree with everything you said. There's too many, like, I think you said red flags on Ortega. We don't know how hurt he is. Supposedly, we don't even know how many surgeries he's had. We don't know how much longer he's going to do this. And even if he doesn't, he is still very young, but he's been talking about it. Speaking of happy birthday, he turned 33 yesterday. So we don't, I hate putting guys in that are thinking about not doing this for much longer. And yeah, the mental state. So I just don't know where we're at here. And he's a little too expensive for me to just throw in. He's 7,700. He's not, he's not an expensive dog, but he's not cheap either.
It is 5 rounds though. Just remember that.
5. Yeah, that's true. I just think, I don't know how this goes. Do you think he can win a decision?
Yeah. I mean, Rodriguez is pretty durable historically. I think Ortega could win like a boxing-based decision, but also, I don't know, man. It's just, I just don't know what Ortega we're getting, and that's the problem.
Yeah,
historically,
exactly.
no. And he is not a great win-it-minner historically.
Right.
Like, he's losing until he snatches a neck. So it's like, it's tricky.
Yeah, and the time off. It's been over a year and a half since he fought last, fought Rodriguez. Yeah, I'm going to have more Rodriguez. This is a GPP fight. I'm going to have more Rodriguez than Ortega, even though he's more expensive, because he's the 4th cheapest favorite on the card. He's made optimal twice out of his past 4 fights, and he's only lost to former champions. So, I mean, I guess, yeah, give me Rodriguez here.
I also trust Ortega's cardio as this fight gets defended. But again, I just don't know. Like,
exactly, there's too many unknowns, and therefore I can't just throw Brian Ortega in like I might usually.
Her plus 120-ish. I don't like that number.
Exactly. Next fight, we did it. Main event of the evening, the Battle of the Brandons. Moreno versus the guy with one of the worst nicknames ever, Raw Dog Royval. Minus 160 fight doesn't go. Plus 130 does go. Minus 300 for not as bad as Raw Dog by any means, but just a confusing nickname. Assassin Baby. 7,400 plus 250 for Brandon Royval. I'll start us off here. Both of Pantoja's children fighting each other again. Moreno won the first one. That was a weird, like, some injury at the end of the first, if I remember. I'm taking Moreno here, man, to be quite honest. I think he's just, Royval might have more moments than Moreno, but I think Moreno's going to win more minutes and be more consistent. Either way, this is not my, well, I'm going to be careful. It's not my favorite fight for GPPs, as neither guy scores very well when they win. 91 and 93 on average. Royval gives up more points when he loses than Moreno does. but both have extremely high floors, the two highest floors on the entire card. And for that reason, I think the cash stack is actually in play here for Moreno Royval. I think Moreno wins by decision, but if that's the case, how many points is Royval going to score in 25 minutes? Just because I don't think he's going to win doesn't mean that he can't score a shitload of points. I'm looking for, yeah, he lost. Pantoja scored 89.81 and definitely had moments in that fight, was on Pantoja's back for more than a couple of minutes. And Pantoja admitted, yeah, exactly. And Pantoja admitted to being extremely gassed to the point that he didn't even know if he was going to be able to continue for a couple of seconds there. So Royval's absolutely game to score some points. I just think it's Moreno by decision. And I think the stack, really, that's how I'm looking to play this. I usually hate stacking. I never stack. And I think the stack is in play here. So the pick is Moreno by decision. 8,800, 7,400 is not too bad to get both those guys in there. But if I'm picking one for GPPs, it's probably Royval just because he's so cheap. He seemed to have okay cardio against Pantoja because the longer that fight went on, like I said, Pantoja was the one that admitted to feeling extremely gassed. I forget the exact words he used, but according to him, he could barely catch his breath. So yeah, give me Moreno, but I think both guys score well. Should be a good fight. Good 25-minute fight. Lou, take us home with the main event here. Who do you got?
So I have Moreno also, and he's my favorite play on the card, but we have a very different perspective on this. So I think first of all, I don't know what Royval's path is to have any success in this fight. Moreno doesn't get finished. He gets hurt, doesn't get finished. So I don't think Royval gets a finish. I think Moreno's a better boxer. I think the takedowns will be there for Moreno. I think his ground control will be fine. I just don't know how Royval wins this fight. More to the point that
awful takedown defense.
More to the point that you and the Becca just said about his cardio. I feel it's important to note that, and I'm not talking about the height that's going on in that country. I'm talking about the fact that literally less than 2 months ago, he fought a 5-round fight where he was getting taken down a shitload against Pantoja. Dude, this is a very, very quick turnaround to take this fight.
True.
And Moreno is not a dude who's low volume. He is pace. He's in your face, throws a lot of strikes, goes for takedowns, goes for cage control. He's not going to let Royval breathe. I could see a Moreno late finish absolutely would not surprise me, and I may take a poke at it, but I don't know how Royval wins this fight outside of a really early finish. I don't see a path for him. I think the 300 is going to look like a gift, and I think you could parlay him with. If you want to parlay him with Zaluber, that's fine. If you want to parlay him with Rosas, that's fine. If you want to parlay all of them, give Johnny K a call. Nah, he'll have him parlayed. Nah, it's Johnny K. He'll have him parlay with Yaragui.
Yeah, exactly. I was gonna say.
He'll have Yaragui and the what's the one fight that's minus 800? and Shiraz fight doesn't go.
Doesn't go, yeah.
Get it to a nice minus 380. But I feel like Moreno, and I think if you want to go like, let's get cute with it since.
All right.
Let's. I mean, I'm just saying. I want to see what we can do here to kind of play around. So I'm on DraftKings right now. Little same game parlays. Okay, Moreno and over 1.5. Here you go. Boom. Moreno and over 1.5 rounds is minus 140, and I think that's a pretty good way to play it. I'm going to look up Royval split. I know he asked Daz, but I mean, I'm right here. So like, but I don't know how Royval wins a split. Like if you want to, I mean, look, man, I'll never talk you off doing like some crazy ass bet. This is what I'm here for. But Royval split is plus 1,800.
Okay.
So there you go. Kiwi, Daz, it's plus 1,800. I just stuck that in the chat. I mean, I don't think it hits, but I'm kind of rooting for it. Like, I would love to see people bagging 1,800 down. I kind of think Moreno could get a late finish, but
if we see a split, I'll be very happy for DraftKings.
Probably a pretty decisive, probably 50-45. Like, I think, like, I don't know how I really don't know how Royval wins this fight. I don't know how Royval wins any minutes here. I can't see it. I think this is like the worst. This is the worst matchup possible.
Agreed. I just a lot of people are on Royval, maybe not in this fight, but for his career, which is fine. Root for your guy. I just think he's been a little less than impressive overall.
Look, he's a great guy to root for against like these mid guys because he's gonna have these great fights. But this is levels, like because Moreno, because anybody he faces that has durability, he's gonna have problems.
Right.
He's a horrible minute winner, and honestly, 5-round fights are like the worst fucking thing this guy can have. Like,
it's probably
it's not about his cardio; it's about his style.
Yeah, he's never won one.
Well,
he's only had one. I thought he had two. I guess he's only had one.
I mean, if you prorate it, he's going to go 0-900 in his career in 5-round fights. But he's going to be 0-2 after this one.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, and again, such a quick turnaround, man. Is like
it really is. I didn't even.
He may not have his legs after. He may not have his legs after 5 minutes, dude. He may be like. That's why I'm saying the late finish is not. I know Moreno is not like historically a big finisher, but like.
Do you know how many days ago the Raw Dog last fought?
Is it? It better be 69.
It's 69 as of today. Actually, as of today being Friday, he fought 69 days ago. Nice,
very nice.
So yeah, well, Lou, we did it. We broke down UFC Mexico City. Decent card. Lots of variants, so keep your wallets in check a little bit. Next week's kind of a shit show, but then we get $2.99 the week after, so don't you go anywhere. I don't have anything else going on. I am finished with content for the week. Lou, where can they find you? What do you got going on? Did you put anything out this week on Discord?
Yes, find me on Discord. Girthy Macaque. It is a real name.
It is.
Reasons. I think I'm going to be at the Parsippany Dinner Theater doing comedy.
Nice.
I'm opening for Buddy Hackett.
What's his name? Buddy Wackett?
And yeah, I mean, I will say that I've seen people in different chats like Weezy's and whatever saying free Lou.
True.
Monk tells me, Brady tells me, I just want to let you guys know. I appreciate it. I'm figuring out a way to get back. I will be back. So your boy's not going anywhere. It is awesome. We're getting more views on certain shows because I'm not on. So a lot of me really doesn't want to come back because I'm kind of liking that. But I'll be back soon enough to bother the show. And you guys will wish I was not on Twitter at that point because I will make sure that I am even crazier than I was before.
There we go.
Or I'm going to go the other way and just only make the most milquetoast fucking tweets ever. If they're not going to trouble. I'll go through like the Twitter Rolodex. I'll write, dogs are barking this week. Or I'm excited. What fight are you guys excited for?
Who's going to shit like the bed this week?
Whatever guys like Adam Martin say. Guy bores me. No, I have not. I've been trying. I've actually been lowering my content schedule because I can't get in touch with anybody unless they're on the Discord. I will tell you that if I have to give you one prop that I like the most, I think the Duncan decision at 10-1. It's like a super fucking viable path for the Duncan decision. I think Torres wins round 1 KO. That is the preferred bet. But if it doesn't happen, I think Duncan probably wins like the most boring thing. My parlay buster. Let me take a look.
Uragi.
I don't think people are really going to parlay Barcelos. I can't imagine they would. I'll tell you who could be the parlay buster. Would be Felipe Dos Santos.
Oh,
I don't think. Oh, Yambags is Shirez and
Lacerda.
Shirez. I've been trying not to give Yambags out for fights that I think are going to end quick. But, dude, we're seeing ball shots like the first 2-3 minutes of some of these fights. Like, I don't know. Was it 6 minutes into the one fight with the Chinaman and the other guy?
Yeah.
I'm not trying to say it every week. I just, dude, there were 3 ball shots in like a 2-minute span.
Yeah, it was crazy.
It was all like around that under 1.5 mark. So, like, dude, I could totally see Lacerda being tired after a minute and just blasting him in the fucking sack. I think Zellhuber is the other one. I see Glenn saying that. I like Zellhuber a lot, and I explained the reasons why. But Prado is definitely way more dangerous than Altamirano is. Like, I will say that. Like, this is not a hot take. Prado is more dangerous than Altamirano. So I think there's definitely more finishing upside, like more bonk lord potential. But for me, I think Dos Santos is like kind of way overpriced. Like, I just can't get to Altamirano, like, because it's Victor Altamirano. Like, I can't do it. But I mean, a 29-28 vet lesson wouldn't shock me. Like, I'm not playing that fight, so I don't like that at all. But yeah, I don't know. I would say that's the. Let me just give you the quick picks before we get out of here. Just a quick. All right, first fight, I took Naimov, no bet. Second fight, I took Felipe de Santos because I can't get to Altamirano, but no bet there. Rodriguez Bondar is a complete pass. I picked Rodriguez. Bondar has bad durability. I like Ferris ZM. He's definitely another potential parlay buster. ZM at -200 range. He could get caught, but I don't think he will. Shirez in the distance. Jesus Aguilar, I'll take as a small dog play, but I really like the under. Christian Quinones to knock out Barcelos. It's going to be sad, but it's going to happen. Torres round 1 KO, but the Duncan decision has a little interesting prop. Shirigi split decision's fun, but I wouldn't do it. I like Raul Rosas. I'm avoiding a prop there. I think he has decision equity. I like Saluber decision. Staying off here, Ortega, too many red flags. And I love Moreno as like a very smash spot right there.
Nice. What does this mean?
I don't know, but I would love to because I don't know what that means.
This is some New Zealand slang I'm not familiar with.
I don't want him to yell at me in the Discord for not knowing what it was.
Well, he can yell at you, then you can tell me what it means.
I'd be like, I don't know. But, anyway, that's what I got. I got nothing going on. A lot of soccer Saturday. And give Big Steve and maybe Couch. I don't know if he's doing it, but those are the two guys. If you guys are looking for PFL and Bellator stuff for this weekend, I would trust those two the most. I know Couch is a tout now. I know he sells his picks. I'm just busting balls. Congratulations to Mike, dude, for getting nice offer there. But I know Big Steve's probably going to do some stuff. So take a look out for that. Maybe Aaron the dog might even do it. I don't know if he's doing that. But those are the three guys I would trust the most for those kind of things. Oh, God. Arm injury one. It's like the cart. It's clever. It's like the Madden cart parlay.
Right. That's the floppy arms parlay, the injuries.
Yeah, if you guys are looking for PFL Bellator stuff, I would trust, like, I'm not taping that, like, and a lot of those lines are like all blown out. So like, I'm not trying to bet like Jason Jackson -450. So, but a lot of those guys are like sharper than me at that stuff. So check those guys out.
Before we get out of here, I'm not gonna tell you anything, but Lou knows I am brainstorming a new show that will be coming. I don't even know, within the next probably month. I bet you it'll be ready to go well before UFC 300. So
don't tell them the name.
No, I don't even have it
there.
I don't even have a name yet. I don't think.
Not MonkMMATics Betya.
Oh yeah, that's right. I was trying to think of it all day, and I was like, "What did he?" I couldn't. Now it's so obvious. Yeah, yeah, MonkMMATics Betya, Chardy McDennis, so fucking hilarious. But for real though, we do have a new show coming. I think you guys will like it. Nobody's kind of doing anything like it, and it's going to be a fun time. It's not going to be like a breakdown show, but yeah. So look for that. I got nothing else. 299 is right around the corner, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. Hit the like on your way out, and please enjoy your weekend. But also, as usual, we want all of you to enjoy the fight. So enjoy, and we will see you in the next one.